Hey everybody, it's Joey from Value TCG. Welcome to another video. I believe this is a fifth video of my channel. So I appreciate you guys for listening to me and for watching the videos. Today I wanted to do something just a little bit different. So over the last couple of weeks, I've watched a lot of videos from other content creators. And one thing that I've noticed, the common topic has been just how expensive the hobby is. Whether it's, there's this one video I watched yesterday, the title was something along the lines of One Piece will die because of how expensive it is. And the entire video talks about how expensive the booster box prices have gotten, and as a result, we should all band together and not buy any booster boxes so that those prices come down, right? Just crazy stuff. Or other videos about how expensive the singles are to buy, and it's just unplayable at this point. And frankly, I disagree. I disagree with all of that because there are real competitive decks that I'm going to go over today that are quite inexpensive to put together. So that's why I wanted to do this video today. Um, but before I start, please like and subscribe the video. Really appreciate your support. As a new content creator, it's just awesome to just have you guys view my videos. Um, I get really excited when I see whether it's 50 people or 100 people that watch the video. I think it's so cool that you guys are spending your time with me. Anyway, so let me just get started here. So this is the English meta. I have this One Piece Top Decks website up, but these are all the decks that have been winning in the English meta. And that is just up until what we have released thus far, right? In a couple weeks, we'll get ST11, Starter Deck 11, the Uta deck. So maybe at that point the meta will shift a little bit, but for now we're just at the after the release of OP 05. So as you can tell, of course, you have very impressive decks here. Sakazuki just dominating, right? And then obviously you have NL. But there are a couple of really interesting options here, whether it's category, whether it's Nami, and then maybe a couple of red options as well. So I'm going to go over the ones that are not the big, decks like NL and Sakazuki that are pretty inexpensive to put together, quite honestly, right? This one is the most expensive of the decks I'll go over. You have 2 Charlotte Linlin sets of 4, you have 4 Crackers, you have 4 Prosperos, and you have 4 Sanjis. I think all of this added together gets you to around $200, maybe around like $180 if you can get a good deal from a friend, or you're not buying on TCG Player, you're buying on Discord channels. You get like maybe a percentage of TCG Player. I mean, you can probably reasonably put all of this together for $170, $160, right? That's really, really good. Compared to the $800 for a Sakazuki deck without even, alternate arts, in large part, or the, $600 for the purple Luffy without alternate arts. So the really biggest bulk of expense in this deck comes out to the four Charlotte Linlins from the starter decks. So this is about $60 for 4, and then Cracker, Charlotte Cracker, $60 for 4 there as well. Prospero has come down a lot. Linlin has come down a lot. and Sanji's been around that $10 mark for quite some time. So these two, it's $20 for four. Um, for each of these two cards. So 60, 60, 20, 20, plus another 40. That's gonna get you to like about $200, right? And I'm not counting any of these other random cards that are maybe a buck each. But again, you can probably get a pretty good deal if you do buy on Discord or just off of TCG Player. This is also this is pretty much exactly the same setup. This is another deck that's won in the West here. Um, and I think the only difference is you have two brulees, which is about $8 each, and instead of one Lin Lin, and one I believe smoothie, Charlotte smoothie. So really, frankly, quite interchangeable on the value side. And playstyles very, very similar, of course. Now, this deck I think is pretty interesting. Um, this is the Nami deck. Oh, and one thing I should mention about the Charlotte category deck is it does endure into the next set, OPO6, and then also starter decks 11, 12, and 13, which is the really interesting part, right? So if you pay $200 for this deck, um, you have a lot of longevity and playtime, right? You can play for at least the next 3 to 4 months, and then we'll see how the next sets of cards will evolve. But if you buy right now, before EV1 or until EV1 comes out, at least we'll see how that evolves meta. But you get 4 or 5 months of playtime with this, and you can probably sell a lot of those cards for pretty similar uh, prices by the time that you're done with it, which is, I think, a fantastic, price to pay, value-wise, if you will. Um, and then when it comes to Nami, this is a pretty standard deck. There's really nothing here that's very valuable at all. Love Love Beam might be, or Love Love Mellow might be the only one that's expensive. I think it's like $6 each. So you can put this entire deck together for 30 bucks, right? 30, $40. I think probably some of you guys have just these cards lying around from opening decks back in the day, or opening booster boxes back in the day, all the way throughout. But if not, I mean, you can buy these cards for sometimes like pennies, like literally cents, on TCG players. So this is probably the cheapest deck that I'll go over tonight. And um, look, I mean, they they got to top 8, right, in the Netherlands with this deck. So it is, you can probably do relatively well. And actually, it's been doing well in Japan as well, right? There's a couple wins that have happened, or at least top seeding that have happened with this very, very inexpensive deck. And then the last one for the U.S., or I should say Western world, is the Zoro deck. And this deck really is just a combination of two starter decks, one starter deck ones, and I think that's that, and 4 Zoros here, right? Zoros, oh, and of course 4 Marcos. Marco has gone down to around $5 a piece, so 20 bucks here. Zoro's around $4 a piece. I just picked up a few of these for myself because I was shocked at how cheap this card has become. Obviously not the alternate art version, just the base version, $4. So really, you're looking at under $100 for the Zoro deck. Which, going back to this again, there's, look, here's a top 32, and here's another first place in Chile. So good job, Jorge. And then just moving on to starter deck, to the Japan meta. So going through Japan meta, We don't have anything under EV1 OP7 yet because that hasn't come out, but we will see that very soon. But so this is still, these are all the decks I've won. As you can see, black is still dominating, but but it's become a lot more diverse, right? You have a lot more yellows filtered in here. You have a couple greens. You have a purple Luffy that's done well. 5-0 in a flagship event. Good job. You have the Nami that I just had gone over. Purple. You have wow. You still have Whitebeard doing well with the first place just a couple weeks ago. And then of course Yamato's doing well. Like, there's a lot more diversity, guys. Like, do not give up hope just because you're not able to buy or splash $700 on a black deck today. We're gonna get there. There's going to be a lot more power creeping that's going to happen. But again, so this is almost exactly the same deck on the category. This is one of the winners that you see at the top here. And then this is the second deck, right? Pretty much the same thing. And frankly, I think this might be cheaper because this deck does not have the Charlotte Crackers in it, right? So that's $60 off the top, right? So you can put this deck together for $130, $140. Oh, I guess this one doesn't have it either. So, I mean, guys, the future is looking bright for us value-oriented folks who are looking to just play the game. This is pretty incredible. That something like this is just, we're actually seeing power creeping and like right in front of us. And this is the Uta deck that did well recently. And really, the only expensive cards in here are the 2 kids and then the 4 Namis. So Namis are still around $20 each. And then kids, I think it's also around $20 each. So that's $120 for these 6 cards. And then whatever, I guess, Mihawk and Zoro will kind of meter out to be. But the rest of this is going to be very, very inexpensive. So again, another deck under $200. Oh, here, this is the Nami one, right? So pretty much exactly the same setup. Mellows are the ones that are actually doing well. Or Mellow are the ones that's going to be a little more expensive than the rest of this, but it's still going to be like $30. So, guys, like, after going through this, I just don't agree with all these content creators that want to fearmonger about One Piece, right? If I don't think it's too late to get into the game. It's expensive now because black decks have done really, really well. But it just seems like you can have a fantastic time playing yellow, playing some of these other non-black decks, and still do well, maybe even win an event at your locals, right? So I think the future is bright for everyone who wants to play this game. I've collected, a decent number of, these cards just so that I'm ready as soon as OP6 hits the ground. And if you guys look, all of these cards that are added from OP5 genre, like these are just basic rares from OP6 Impact, right? So we're talking about like you can use this deck immediately as soon as OP6 comes out in March. You can use this deck immediately. You can use this deck now. You won't have these 2 cards, but you're still going to be able to dominate. And this is I have these cards. I think I'm gonna put this together. I'm gonna go to my locals and test out category. I haven't played it before, so I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Very aggro and probably pretty simple to learn. Um, so so it'll be a fantastic way to just ramp into the hobby. Anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all for joining me again tonight. I wanted to share just my thoughts on this, um, and just encourage all of y'all who are thinking about playing, to look. I think we're gonna have a great time. There's still plenty of chances for newcomers to come into the hobby and enjoy One Piece. And no, I do not believe that the game is dying. Thanks everyone. Please again like and subscribe to the channel. Um, Love your support and appreciate all of y'all. All right, hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll talk to y'all next time.